management, and the last session is on finance area. And if you have any doubts, then we'll continue the session for some more time to discuss with you on today's topic. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. VVN Lakshmi, another friend of ours. And Dr. Lakshmi Garu, actually, she is having a total experience of 23 years. And she did her MBA and also PhD. And marketing, operations management, operations research are her core areas of interest. Before, Madam is working at Sarojini Naidu Varita Mahavidyalaya. And before joining in Sarojini Naidu, since last 23 years, I think, Madam, since 2001, Madam is working there. Before joining Sarojini Naidu Varita Mahavidyalaya, Madam worked at various other institutions. And one, where is ma'am? Madam, you are not, your video is off, I think.
No, madam, my video is on.
You are here. Okay. I'm proud to say one thing that Madam did PhD from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. So, yeah, thank you, ma'am. And she published 3 papers in national journals, and she contributed 9 different articles for various books. And she has submitted her papers in 1 national and 3 international conferences. And the one more point which I would like to say is, if you open the course materials of operations management, particularly the students of operations management specialization, and also MBA students, operations research and operations management course, in the course team, you can find Madam's name. And she contributed for supply chain management, TQM courses also, in addition to operations management core course. And she organized so many seminars and also webinars in her college. So with this brief introduction, thank you very much, Lakshmi Garu, for accepting our invitation and to be the resource person for today's session on case analysis in operations management area. Thank you, ma'am. Please.
Yeah. Thank you, madam, for your kind words. Thank you so much. I really don't know whether I deserve so much.
You deserve, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, we are one of the few, PhD students we have done from Ambedkar Open, madam. After Ambedkar Open University started, giving PhDs on their own. Earlier, it was with CES, I think, you used to offer. I am very happy and I feel fortunate for that, madam. Thank you so much. Greetings and very good afternoon to the dignitaries and dear participants. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Kiranmayi madam and Professor Anand Pawar sir for giving me this opportunity. I also thank the people of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University for giving me this opportunity. Today, let us discuss about 2 cases. Madam asked me to discuss 2 cases in the area of operations management and supply chain management. Madam, can I share the screen?
Yes, Pina, you can share, no issues.
Yes. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, thank you. Today, let us discuss about 2 cases in the area of operations management and supply chain management. Here, I chose 2 firms, Taj Hotels of Tata Group and Amul by GCMMF, that is Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation. Actually, I chose purposefully these 2 companies. Let us discuss first about these 2 firms. Amul is the story of a successful cooperative society that has transformed the quality of life of its stakeholders while staying competitive and profitable in a market where top MNCs like Hindustan Unilever, Nestle, and Britannia are operating. It is the successful saga of how rural India could transform itself. We can say Amul model inspired dairy cooperative movement across the country. In Hayatnagar in our Hyderabad, there is Normal, that is Mother Dairy, under the brand of Vijaya, which is of the same model as Amul. In this way, every district, there is a cooperative farmers union that is contributing or that is, sourcing milk to to a federation like that. Uh, the the first one, Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai, was opened by Jamshedji Tata with a motive of a hotel for Indians by Indians. Actually, he was deprived of entry into a hotel just because he was an Indian during the British rule. This uh, made him think that India will prosper only if it has Indian business organizations run setting up businesses for itself. Tatas have not only contributed to Indian industry, but also to India at large. They were one of the pioneers with a vision that to be independent, India should have its own businesses establishments. These two firms have contributed towards the upliftment of their stakeholders, be it customers, be it employees, be it the society at large, the even the shareholders, the prices of the shares have also never seen a setback. They changed the face of modern India, while GCMMF, that is Amul, has changed the face of the rural India. Both the companies have shown highest levels of commitment and integrity to benefit their stakeholders, as I'm telling you, customers, employees, and society at large. With this brief introduction, let me start the case study analysis for today. Friends, before I start this case study analysis, let me share one experience of mine towards the cases. The beauty of the case study analysis is today we all together are trying to analyze these two cases. We will be analyzing these two cases in a particular viewpoint or a particular perspective. After some time, tomorrow or after a month or so, you revisit these two cases and you will understand and you will realize a new perspective, a new understanding, and a new conclusion on these case studies. That is how it is the same employees working in organizations contributing towards the ever ending customer delight processes. That is how, even though after years of working in the similar processes and similar procedures, they are trying to innovate and renovate the procedure and trying to improve their work centers and the facilities, that is either at the operations level, that is a service organization or a manufacturing unit or the supply chain at large. Friends, let us try to make this session as interactive as possible. With the limited time we have, let us speedily and briefly analyze the cases. Any points you want to contribute or you want to comment or you have any doubt or anything, please feel free to unmute yourself and contribute. So basically, let us go in this particular outline where let us try to understand the case overview first and the conceptual points that are relevant to the case and try to cater to the discussion questions that are given at the end of the case and try to come up with the valid solutions or practical solutions or practical answers of that. Now, these are some of the theoretical concepts that are being covered as part of these cases. Let me just give you a brief up on these points, on these theoretical concepts, so that let us all better connect between what is happening within the case and what are those theoretical aspects that are behind those concepts that are being implemented or that are being practiced in these organizations. First, the concept is about kaizen. As you all know, kaizen is a Japanese word that calls for continuous improvement. That is, small improvements at work processes, at work center, or at the facility, or at the operation center will bring in a major leap and contribute towards the stakeholders' satisfaction. Here, when we are using the word stakeholders, we are talking about, or we are referring to customers, employees, shareholders, society, and all the interested parties that are directly or indirectly getting affected with that particular business. Then we have total productive maintenance. It is a tool used under total quality management. Now there is a spree for most of the organizations to be as quality conscious as possible, because we are in a way in an arena where most of the markets are matured markets. Because they are all mature markets, it is getting very difficult, for the companies to increase their sales or to increase their margins, because they cannot increase the price on one end. On the other end, product improvisations are also becoming very limited, because most of the firms have come up with, what all the best, product variants or models that could be possible as far as the product is concerned. So for this reason, what is the best opportunity for a company to enlarge or to increase its profits? The way is cost reduction. There were days when a product used to compete with another product, or a brand used to compete with another brand. But today, this competition is between one supply chain to the other supply chain. Which supply chain is able to deliver the product to the doorstep of the customer or to the doorstep of the nearest retail outlet in the best possible price with best service is winning in the market. Okay. So total productive maintenance is a philosophy where it is thought that the equipment have to be maintained for the lifetime in such a way that breakdowns and sudden repairs can be avoided. And this philosophy includes this happens or this can be done. Just maintenance is not the responsibility of the maintenance team, but every employee working in that particular work center or the facility has to contribute for the maintenance of the equipment. Then we have the concept of work study and method study. Actually, work study is a combination of method study or method analysis and work measurement. Method study talks about what is the best way of performing the job. Are there any redundant activities, obsolete activities that an employee is performing during the job? Can they be removed so that overall time is reduced and efficiency at work is improvised? Is there any physical discomfort to the employee so that his effort is minimized and the output is maximized? We use various flow charts to understand this method study. While work measurement is an effort to identify the best possible time for a standard employee, that is an average worker we can consider, to perform that particular job, so that the performance related measurement or metrics can be achieved. Next comes the concept of quality management. See, Malcolm Baldrige quality framework is there is Malcolm Baldrige quality awards are given by this particular frame committee every year across the world. And they assess the firms. Firms have to apply, and they assess the firms based upon the 7 principles. And based on these 7 principles, Tatas have developed their quality model called as TBEM, Tata Business Excellence Model. And the 7 principles, or we can call them as 7 pillars, based on which the Malcolm Baldrige Quality Innovation Award is based, or TBEM is based on leadership, strategy, then customers, workforce, how is the contribution of the workforce, how satisfied are customers, metrics, that is measurement, analysis, and knowledge management, how is it done in the organization, and finally, how are the operations, how environment friendly are the operations, and the results. Then we have another concept called benchmarking. Usually, most of the organizations identify practices, procedures, or processes within their organization, and they try to compare their practices to the best in the industry or with a direct competitor to assess whether their practices are better, on par with the competitors, or inferior to their competitors. This gives a scope for improvement, continuous improvement in those practices followed in the organization. Then we have the concept of supply chain and supply chain management. Friends, I hope I am clear to you all. Are you able to understand me, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Earlier, of course, for the conceptual point, this happened many years back. For the conceptual points, let me share. We have suppliers, then we have the manufacturing unit, that is where the inputs are transformed into outputs. Then we have the final markets. The raw materials are transported from suppliers to the manufacturing unit. And in between, we have two other activities called warehousing and material handling that has to happen. So whatever the intricacies that happen for transportation of raw materials from suppliers to the manufacturing unit, we used to call it as inbound logistics. Then in the manufacturing unit, the transformation process used to happen, that is inputs are transformed into outputs. Then the finished goods or finished products are transported from the manufacturing unit to the doorstep of the customer or to the nearest retailer through the intermediaries. And this was called as outbound logistics. But because of the complexity and because of the competition, what is happening is this entire chain is getting integrated, and also IT boom has contributed to it. And the entire transportation, logistics, conversion, everything that happens from the supplier to the final customer is what we are calling it as supply chain today. And all the businesses that are involved in this integrated effort of transporting the raw materials, converting them to finished products, and seeing to that these finished products reach the final customer is what the management of this integrated chain is what we call it as the supply chain management. Then, as we discussed, there is a spree for quality management because the customers have become very, very assertive and very sharp. Any very small difference in quality is leading to customer shift, because of which total quality management maintenance has become a compulsion for most of the organizations, be it a service organization or a manufacturing unit or in any other sector it is. For this, there are certain smaller concepts like quality circles. Quality circles is a small group of a voluntary group of 8 to 10 people or 8 to 12 people who meet voluntarily regularly in the facility, that is within the work center, to improve the work center processes or their job processes for the benefit of both the employees and the organization at a whole. Then we have the concept of third-party logistics providers. Actually, when this logistics provision is logistics, that is the transportation basically we are talking about, organizations realize that doing so many things might not be competitive enough. They may not, a manufacturer manufactures with a competitive edge. That manufacturer may not be good at the logistics side. So we have logistics providers who provide a bundle of services like warehousing, transportation, and also material handling in a very, very professional way, and see to it that the goods are transported in the right, in the right time, at the right place, in a right form without any damage, looking at all the documentation, because nowadays most of the transportation happens, intercontinental also. And such providers are called as third party logistic providers. Then we have a small concept called just in time, which has really changed the shape of the logistic industry and also the manufacturing. Just in time is an inventory control technique where organizations believe to maintain only just enough inventory for the lead time. Lead time means the time gap between the company placing the order and the receiving the order. Only that much buffer stock or safety stock is kept, and lot of liquid cash is not getting blocked as inventory. Now, this just in time happens because of information technology boom. So these are the concepts we will try to understand with the help of these caselets or case analysis. Now, yeah. Let me start the first case study. I think Madam and Sir has shared these case studies already to you all. Let me once stop this share. This is the caselet. I hope you are able to see the caselet. This is the caselet that I have shared for Taj Hotels. So first, let us try to see if you see, I have highlighted many points here, which forms the basis of this particular case. So let us first go through the basic points of this case. Yeah. Taj Hotels is owned by, the floating company is the Indian Hotels Company Limited. And the brands under the Indian Hotels Company Limited are Taj. It caters to the luxury segment. Actually, most of the big palaces, once again, it is a new idea to give a new life to those palaces and those families, who were once kings and queens. So those hotels were converted into luxury. Those palaces were converted into luxury hotels. Then we have Vivanta. It's for upscale segment. Then Selections, it's for premium segment. While affordable middle class, it is Ginger Hotel. Then for those who want to have a private stay with bungalows and villas, there is Ama Stays and Trails. Why I'm showing you this is to show that the hospitality in the hospitality sector, Tatas have made themselves as a complete full-length company. Then they have Taj Sats, which is actually a joint venture between Taj and Sats, and they are providing catering services to many airlines. Then if we want to order food from these luxury hotels, Human is given. It is an online portal. Then we have Taj Air. They own 2 private jets. Then they have 2 private yachts also, Taj Yachts. Now, this is the flagship of Taj Mahal, Taj Hotel. Let us now look at the overview of this case. Okay, so Taj Mahal people, or the Taj, Indian Hotel Company Limited, Indian Hotel Company Limited, it has come up with an idea that it has to be proactive and not let the market forces take over. Okay, And, uh, and that's why they started implementing the concepts of quality and quality management from the start, from its inception itself. And hence they started Taj brand standards program among their Taj hotels to improve the various identified processes and the teams working on those processes for the day-to-day improvisation and also to save costs. In one of its effort towards this improvisation, they realized that one problem was realized, which comes in the third paragraph. That is, there is a peculiar problem that much of the crockery and cutlery was getting broken in the kitchen during the wash. They realized two issues here. The first issue is about the depth of the sink, and the second issue was there the steel crockery, melamine crockery, and other fragile crockery was together put up in that particular wash area, because of which these pieces are getting broken, and that is really, really costly for the company itself, for the hotels itself. And to come out of this particular situation, Taj people have, come up with a solution. That is, they have organized a Kaizen team. That is, whoever the chefs were there, three or four chefs of at that particular point of time, they organized them into a team and they requested them to go through, or rather to understand those processes or to study those processes. And once they have studied these processes, they have realized that, basically because of these two reasons, that is, one is the depth of the sink and the other is the steel and the fragile crockery are put up, together in that particular area or in that particular wash. That is the main reason for that. So they came up with a solution as one piece at a time. Okay. So this was the first problem and the solution. And uh, the technical point they have taken help of is Kaizen. So they have framed a Kaizen team and all. And to their surprise, 28% of savings in the expenditure that they are incurring because of this breaking of crockery was realized by them. That was the first step. Second step, they have also realized that total productive maintenance has to be established, and TBEM philosophy was developed at Taj. TBEM, as we have discussed, Tata Business Excellence Model. For this, they devised or developed an Apex Council at the board level and Business Council at the SBU level, that is Strategic Business Unit level. They identified that an average hotel has 13 processes and people working on these 13 processes, and maximum of 30 processes they have got. So they started improvising these processes, and the top 10 best teams were identified and they were awarded and rewarded, okay, both monetarily and non-monetarily. If you see towards the end of the first page, these points were discussed. Like this comes with TPM, that is total productive maintenance, because here every team member is made responsible for the maintenance or for those processes to be maintained or improvised in a proper way. The next concept of benchmarking. Tata people, they said there is a need for themselves, these Taj people, to improvise. And hence they thought they would benchmark their practices or processes with the best globally. And hence they selected two hotels. One is, Four Seasons, the other one is Carlton. And they have devised their philosophy into three parts. The first one is warm welcome. Second one is anticipatory services. That is, employees were expected to go beyond their job, beyond their purpose. Okay, to come up to serve their customers or to serve their guests. They were not even calling their customers as customers. They were calling them as guests. to their guests, to their delight or to their satisfaction or to their surprise. And finally, fond farewell. These are the three elements or three aspects that are identified in the case which they want to give or they want to do the best. Uh, so they identified one process that was happening, which was better than theirs at Ritz-Carlton, that is getting feedback from the customer. And the same was implemented in Taj Hotels as GSTS, that is Guest Service Tracking System. This is covered around the fourth paragraph in the second page. Okay, you all can go through the case simultaneously as I am discussing. Fine. So there was a survey questionnaire that was developed with 63 questions, where, the guests were requested to provide feedback, and on an average, 2,000 responses per hotel they used to receive. Okay, and based upon this, the team, that is a totally outside auditor, that is IMRB, which is a famous marketing research agency, was analyzing those responses given by the guests, and they were selecting the top 10 teams, best teams, and they were rewarded. This was working like a boost for the employees. That was the third initiative of Tata's. Then this I have discussed, that is Tata Business Excellence Model. Still, they thought they need to do something more, something better to be competitive at the international level. So they have started with the program called STAR, which the acronym is Special Thanks and Recognition System. It is recognizing their employees for the contributions made by them. And as part of this START program, this is patented by Taj Group. As part of these, or Tata Groups, as part of the START program, they were, which was divided into 5 levels. Every employee was given few points for his contribution towards improving either his job, or for satisfying a guest, or for improving the work center, or for improving the work facility. Whatever small contribution that was made by the employee was recognized, and these points, that is marks, were given by either their counterparts, that is fellow employees, their pals, first thing, or by the business council we were discussing. No, there were 3 people: the general manager of that company, HR manager, and the training manager, who were formed as a team. They used to give them the marks. The guest can also give them marks, and these marks were getting accrued over a period of time. And depending upon who gets the maximum marks, they were joining either the MD club or the CEO club or the COO club, and they were specially recognized, and specially they were, we should say, they were really given gifts and lot more. They were recognized for their services. And this START program was so successful at Tata's, okay, that there were so many innovations that every hotel became an innovation center. To explain us that employee innovations, we were given the 3 examples here, where one employee who received a guest at the mid of the night realized that the guest is about to get cold, and so he offered a medical help for the guest, and the guest was not ready for that. So beyond his job, that is, it is not a part of his job, but beyond his job, this employee has got him a hot cup of water with honey and ginger, which is our family, tip, we can say, that where our elders give us when we have cold and all, isn't it? So that was given to the guest, and this delighted the guest so much that it seems the guest has written a comment in his feedback and praised that particular employee. So the employee was given marks for that. He was given 10 points for that. Another point is an employee has come up with a innovation or with a suggestion saying that newspapers are already read by the guests because they come by their flights and all the flights give them. So in the transport vehicles, why to keep the newspapers which they have already read? So give them something else, magazines or something else. And this suggestion or this thing was, the employee was uh, rewarded by giving additional 10 points. Okay. And another employee came up with a suggestion that whoever parks the cars in their parking facilities, let us clean those cars and leave a slip there that your car has been cleaned. Have a peaceful journey. So these initiatives and innovations and new ideas and suggestions by the employees really improved the services that are being provided to the guests or the customers, and that made Taj Hotels today at the international level. That has taken the what you call the fame of the Taj Hotels to the international level. Now, with this explanation of the case, shall we all try to answer the questions that are posed over there? So can any one of you give me the solutions for here? The first question being posed over here is the STARS program of Taj Group of Hotels is in a way an extension of methods analysis performed by the employees themselves for giving improvement suggestions. Discuss. Anybody, can you come forward and just explain us? See, method study is the way we do the job or we perform the job. There are any improvisations in the way we perform the job. That is all a part of the method study. This is a hint.
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah, as mentioned, definitely any work.
Please tell your name so that everybody.
Ma'am, this is Sangeeta here. As mentioned, the STAR program, yes, as any individual, when they would like to perform, they would definitely look at the appreciation and because without any appreciation, any individual will not know whether they are doing in a good manner or whether they are in good progress or not. So definitely appreciation is a part where any employee will definitely boost to come up with more hard work, and can say that they will give more initiatives and priority to their work because
yes,
they are being appreciated.
yes.
Right.
Yeah. Please continue.
So yes, definitely the STAR program will give boost to every employee to come up with more innovative. And when manager who is sitting in a like a I can say a area where he's not actually into picture, but an employee who is in the situation can analyze the situation faced by the guest and can come up with the idea. So a person who is sitting in the like a manager who is sitting in a cabin may not come up with the idea because he's not into the scenario, and the employee who is into the scenario can come up. But if there is no option of you appreciating with their ideas, or if it is not known that yes, my idea will be taken care, or my idea will be considered, so this program of STAR definitely will help every employee to come up, even though they are wrong or correct, that can be later checked, but yes, they will come up if you are appreciating any of their work.
Yes. Sangeeta, very good. Thank you. You have answered both the questions, first and second. Actually, yes, the employee understands the work, what he is doing, and hence he comes up with improvisation. This improvisation, if recognized, there is always a better chance. There is always a higher chance that more and more employees come with that. And understanding the work and improving the work, removing the redundancy and obsoleteness is what is the methods analysis. Okay. Yeah, that is what uh, the STARS program is. So the STARS program and the methods analysis is one, they're overlapping. Okay, that is what we can conclude. So these are the theoretical concepts. You can go through them later because I have really explained you these. Okay, so that is what I have even tried to, point out here. Both work and workplace improvement is what is methods analysis, and hence STARS program and methods analysis overlap with each other. Anybody else, can you contribute? Anybody want to add upon? See, here we are thinking from the work-based point of view. We also can think from the quality aspect, quality improvisation aspect also, because we have other concepts like Six Sigma and all. So as we improve, we should reach the level of Six Sigma where out of 1 million attempts, only 3.53 attempts will be failure. That is the Six Sigma standards that we need to reach. So this being a service sector, these improvisations will help the organization and also the employees to reduce their, mistakes, or to reduce the unhappiness that is shared with the customer or with the guest as much as possible. Now, the second question, anybody else? Actually, Sangeeta has answered the second question also, but friends, you can put more light on the second question, add points to what Sangeeta has already shared with us. There seems to be an overlap between the STARS program, the Kaizen or TPM initiatives of the Taj group. What are the differences and similarities in these approaches? Is it all right if these initiatives coexist? Actually, these questions are given, so we are discussing. When we go through the case, we will get lot more points and we can discuss lot more points on, the points that are highlighted. Yes, friends, because there is, little time, I'm going ahead. From the conceptual definitions, Kaizen is continuous improvement and TPM is involving every employee. And that is what STARS is. The only difference between Kaizen, TPM, and STARS is a people-centered approach. That is, our highlight or our point of attraction is the employee and the employee's contribution towards the work center or towards the facility or towards servicing the guest. While Kaizen and total productive maintenance are they both are work process centric. There, more than the employee, the work process or the work center is important, and avoiding the redundancy in those work centers is important, or it becomes compulsory. That is the difference between these two, and these two should coexist because without employee or without motivating the employee, we cannot bring in improvisations in the work or the job performed by the employee or the work center. I think this is very interesting, and many of you can answer. Unlike manufacturing setups, it is difficult to measure the increased levels of productivity in service setups, such that of Taj Hotel. Is it necessary to measure the productivity levels of employees in such services? Is there any need to identify or measure the productivity levels? Because TBEM approach says, Tata Business Excellence model, that everything has to be measured. Metrics is one very important aspect or important one of that. Anybody, anyone is ready to contribute? Okay. Here, 2 points we have to identify. First thing is services are different to that of the goods because services are very services are experiences, to put in a very simple word. Services are perishable. Service failures are very, very dangerous when compared with product failures because product replacement is possible, but service replacement is very, very difficult. That is the first thing. Second thing, we, the interaction between the service provider, that is here the hotel, and the service seeker, that is the guest or the customer, is called as moment of truth. And these moment of truth happens at multiple points in a hotel. There is the luncheon, everything is very, very happy for the guest. But he had a small fight at the parking lot with a watchman. The guest remembers that unhappy incident but forgets all the other happy touch points that have happened at various levels. So, training the employees and assessing their productivity, assessing the performance of the employees is very, very important in services when compared with that of the goods. Madam Kiranmai ma'am, I think we have another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Ma'am, you can continue, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So this is about the first case. And I request all of you friends to take some more time, go back, read the case, and try to come up with new perspectives, new views, different views on the points that are discussed over here. Now, the second case, as we all know, it is about Amul. It is a very, very friendly name at most of our households, saying utterly butterly little girl. Why Amul is very interesting to me is rural farmers have improvised themselves in bringing up a cooperative, that is an organized effort. Organization is what an organized effort. They formed a cooperative and it is competing with the MNCs of the world. That is, you have what we have Britannia, you can say, because Britannia butter and all are there, Britannia dairy products are there, Hindustan Unilever you have, and also Nestle. So that is the success saga of Amul. This utterly butterly girl, and another very important and which interests me is this icon, the small little girl icon is unshaken after 40, 50 years of Amul journey. Even today, this little girl is as relevant, as part of our family as she was 40 years back or 30 years back. And for a product like Amul, where it requires lot of supply chain, lot of logistics, lot of operations that are involved, because small businesses come together to see to it that these products reach us at the right time in the right quantity. And in a country like India, where cold chain infrastructure is still very underdeveloped, very naive, I should say, this company is trying to do its best. So these are see how relevant it is to today's market. How dynamic they made themselves. Whatever happens in the country, whatever attracts in the country, they are trying to incorporate it into their communication and they are trying to connect with all of us. Friends, any one of you wants to comment anything or wants to share anything about this on this point? This is a platform, friends, where you all can come up with your own ideas, share your ideas. It is all people like you and me who are there. Yeah.
Yes, I do just want the participants to interact. The session is very interesting, even utterly butterly delicious. That advertisement is one of my favorite advertisements.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, please, participants, please do interact. Gain the benefit of the sessions. Well, please continue.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So Gujarat, actually it started as Kaira District Milk Cooperative Union somewhere in 1946. And later it is renamed as Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited under the aegis of Mr. Kurian. Today, it has crossed 7.2 billion turnover in 22-23. The website says these figures, and it is rated as AAA by CRISIL. So this is just the latest points I try to add to the case. So GCMMF, whose flag name being Amul, the supply chain of this particular FMCG product, we call these as fast moving consumer goods because we buy them every month regularly, is very, very complex. And there are 3 steps for this Amul model. And this Amul model is replicated, duplicated across the country as district cooperatives. And, you have Delhi Mother Dairy, you have Hyderabad Mother Dairy under Vijaya brand, all of them doing very, very good. At the first level, they try to establish of a direct linkage between milk producers and consumers by eliminating middlemen. So the federation people collects the milk directly from the milk producers. So we have village societies at the village level. Then we have the district society, which converts its milk into various products. Even today, girls, even today, friends, hardly any dairy cooperatives are there across the world, we can say, with the level of number of products that, GCMMF has. They have the maximum number of products that the company is carrying. Then, the milk producers, that is farmers, control procurement, processing, and marketing part of it. That is GCMMF takes care of brand management, while procurement and collection is the responsibility of the village farmers, the village societies, and the other activities. Even GCMMF has outsourced its advertisement and brand building to an ad agency. All the others are outsourced, all the other parts are outsourced to third party logistics providers. That is the beauty. That is, professional management is introduced. At the same time, the reins are in the hands of the farmers. The representatives of the farmers in these village societies and district level societies at the federation level run the business with the help of professionals. That is the beauty of this model. So you could see we have milk producers at the supply level of the chain. Then we have village dairy cooperatives who collect the milk from the milk producers. Then we have the district and district milk cooperative unions who establishes the manufacturing units, or you can call them as production plants, which actually converts the raw material into, that is the milk, into various milk and milk products. Then we have the State Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, which is like a corporate head office, which looks into all the aspects of the business and sees to it that the product reaches the consumer. And as I told you, one second. It is a very complex supply chain with 1 lakh dealer network and around 10 lakhs of what you call retailers, what we can say, okay, retailers reaching to the doorsteps of people at large. And they have 90 sales offices. Now, this is the success story of the Amul, where at present they have got direct to customers. D2C initiative means direct to customers initiative, where a consumer can order online, and after the delivery of the product, they can pay on cash on delivery. That is, card is available. So you could see how the supply chain has improvised with the help of information technology to the present level. Now, let me just fastly browse through the overview of the case. That is what Amul is and what Amul, GCMMF has done for the upliftment of the farmers and also to be competitive and financially viable in a very, very stringent competitive market, because MNCs are there. Fine. Now, at first, these people have decided that they have to be proactive and not wait for the market to have uh, uh, react rather. Okay. So the milk unions, that is primarily supplier, that is the farmer, they'll take care of the supply side activities, as I told you, while the federation handles the distribution end activities. Okay. Now, they realized two things. In this particular market, that is dairy products market, they have to devise a strategy that they should balance between the demand and supply, because the demand is fragmented. If we take Taj Hotels, customers come to the hotel. But here, the product has to go to the customer. The difference is there. And it is very fragmented and very tiny retailers are there. While it is luxury over there, very big resort or very big palace that we are talking about a hotel establishment. Here we are talking about maintaining and managing fragmented small outlets, motivating them to use the present day quality standards, present day best practices, and compete globally across the world. So they have to first is match the demand and supply, that is match the suppliers with that of the consumers. And second thing is, wherever that is required, take the professional help without compromising or without leaving the control over the business. So first they came up with a low cost strategy because they wanted to make their product penetrate into the market, and later they have come up with a higher end product. Okay. And during this pandemic, friends, they have come up with like haldi milk. They have come up with that is turmeric milk, because we wanted more of products which boost our immune system during the pandemic. So ginger milk, haldi milk, like that new products they have come up during the pandemic, and they took the advantage of that situation also. Another feature that is unique to GCMMF is they deal with cash. Like in all other, that is Hindustan Unilever, Britannia, and Nestle, they deal with check system or credit system. But no credit is there for dealers and wholesalers. It is cash and delivery. You pay cash and forwarding agents, we call them. No? So you pay the carry and forwarding agent, you pay the cash and do it. This helped GCMMF to keep the inventory levels as low as possible, so that, the misappropriation of demand is minimized. Then, yes, here we can highlight saying that GCMMF is responsible for a very small part of the supply chain. That is, they are responsible to the extent that the products leave the district manufacturing units, that is the cooperatives, and the remaining things, because you have a fragmented supply chain intermediaries, that is, we have distributors, dealers, wholesalers, retailers, which are carrying these things, and hence third-party logistics providers are identified and the activities are outsourced to them. And here, even though we are using very, word like third-party logistics providers, let me share that these are very tiny retailers and dealers who are not having a big setup as a company or as a business. They are into unorganized sector. Most of their third-party logistics providers are into unorganized sector. So the challenge that GCMMF is facing and trying to overcome the challenges, how to motivate them to use the best practices in the market. First, educate them, train them on those best practices, subsidize them, help them with the technology that is required to imbibe those best practices, and then make them implement. That is one of the biggest challenge. Another very important aspect of this particular type of product is the product itself, the inventory. How much to produce, when to produce, and when to transport. And that's where they have used just-in-time inventory. That is, only the wholesalers are motivated to keep the inventory only enough to match the lead time, that is the transit time between the branch office and the wholesaler. And for this, they have extensively opened their branch depots, or warehouses, you can call them, where they can really store the goods. And in light of this fragmented centralization, they realized 4 points. One is communication, decentralization, that is, the decisions have to be taken up at various levels. Coordination is very critical for the efficiency of that supply chain and the cost control, because the market is very, very highly competitive, I should say. Another advantage that GCMMF has strategized is they have gone for umbrella branding. Most of the products of them, either it is butter or any other type of product, it comes under Amul name. So, because of that, even though different district societies produce different different type of products, this interlocking has made each one to be very, very integrated or very true to their company. And inter-union conflicts, that is the reason why there are not much conflicts seen, unlike in the other companies in GCMMF, because even I produce butter and my friend produces, cheese, he and me are not competitors, because both of us, our brands are Amul. So if Amul name fetches, both of us fetch. If Amul name loses, both of us lose. This interlocking really helped GCMMF to keep all its unions together under one roof. Then the strategy of cash transactions helped them to follow just-in-time production. Yes. Then yes, the best practices, let us try to understand, that are being followed by this federation. They have tried to implement the best practices at 5 levels. One is the federation level, the other is the district union level, then the other is the village society level, dealers level, retailers level. And these best practices are like, they have motivated them for coming up with quality circles, that is to form a small group of 8 to 12 people who will regularly meet and discuss about work process improvisation and any redundancy that is there in the work processes. So you could see, in the case that every Friday, the GCMMF members meet between 10 and 11 and discuss. There will be compulsorily a meeting, from 10 to 11 and discuss about these things with a purpose. That is, they have come up with a PAL agenda. That is, what is the purpose of the meeting, what is the agenda of the meeting, and what are the limits. And the beauty is, after the meeting is over, it is recorded and feedback is also recorded and shared across. And such type of meetings happen not only at the for the GCMMF staff, they happen at the village level, they happen at the union level, and also they happen at the dealer and wholesaler level. This really helps them to come up with immediate solutions for any type of problems that are being highlighted. Yeah. Because of these things, that is Kaizen, just-in-time continuous improvement, just-in-time inventory strategy, and trying to implement total quality management concepts, they are able to, the wholesalers are able to improve their ROI, that is return on investment. They are able to implement zero stock out strategy. That is, they are able to improve the stock availability at the depots in so much that no dealer, no wholesaler returns without a stock. So this further percolates. Now, no customer will leave a retail outlet or a kirana shop without getting an Amul product. That we can see even today. Britannia products are available, Amul products are available on par simultaneously in every supermarket. And following ZIT also helps another thing, that is, it reduces float in finance. Actually, float in finance means, let me tell you, in operations management, float means it is the time by which you can delay a particular activity without delaying the total project completion time. That is, suppose I'm constructing a house, I want to lay down the what you call the tiles. Let me see. By what time I can postpone this laying of tiles without delaying the house completion time. That is float. Float, when we discuss it in finance, it is our money getting locked or getting shown in two different accounts simultaneously. For example, if I issue a check, to somebody, I have issued the check. Actually, the money has to be in their hands, but the money is in my account even today. Okay, that means money, that person, once he receives the check, he puts the date. In his account, the money is there. In my account also, the money is there. So this float, that is, not a healthy thing if it extends for weeks together. Okay, so we say, whenever we give a check, please put the check as early as possible. If not, I may eat away my money. So this reduces a lot of float in finance also. Then, technology related aspects, let me browse through very fast. Five to six.
Ma'am, let me try to
Yes, madam.
end the session at the end.
Yeah, sure, madam. So they were trying to help their suppliers and also the intermediaries by subsidizing the chilling unit, by introducing e-commerce, by coming up with GIS, that is, internet-based identification system across the supply chain, opening internet kiosks. Okay, so these are the IT-related initiatives that are taken up by the what you call Amul. So the conceptual points I have explained you already. So I'm just browsing through. So float in finance is when a certain sum of money exists in two different accounts simultaneously, as we discussed. Now, there are 4 or 5 questions that we can discuss. If any one of you can put some light, it will be good. If not, let us browse through fast. Why should a company such as Amul undertake a strategic management initiative of SCM? Why should they implement SCM? Any answers? Yeah. Some highlights which I have explained. Cold chain infrastructure is very primitive in India. There is a tough competition in MNCs. So if they have to be competitive and financially viable, they have to implement the both information technology related, best practices, and also they have to update their technology. Then comment on the distribution network and its challenges. Let me put some light on the challenges. The infrastructure is very complex. The supply chain is complex, mainly because the product is perishable in nature. You cannot store it for a very, very long time without treating it with some type of homogenization or some type of pasteurization. Then many among them are from unorganized sector. As I have told you, most of the third-party logistics providers are from unorganized sector. So training them, motivating them to implement the new technology and subsidizing them with that new technology is also a big challenge. And a large part of supply chain is outsourced, so they may not have a complete control over them. And it is through the same supply chain that even the Nestle products and Britannia products are being shared or being transported. These are the main reasons. Then, name some best practices in management in use in Amul. So we have quality circles, TQM, Kaizen, ZIT, and good accounting practices. And these resulted in better return on investment, zero stock out, and reduction in financial float. Those are the benefits they have got. And this facilitated most of the village societies to convert themselves into improvement centers. If you see the Amul website, you will see how this dairy cooperative movement spread across the country. And overall, they are really doing very well. How can initiatives based on information technology facilitate better management of the supply chain in a dairy industry? See, because of IT, they are able to have direct to customer initiative. You just order through portal, you're delivered the good. Okay. Implementation of GIS, that is Geographical Information System, enables any wholesaler, dealer, or consumer to identify the nearest depot where the goods are available. Just-in-time production is possible because of information technology, that is electronic transfer of information, either email or some electronic information is available. Net-enabled kiosks that are put up in every village gave lot of market information and technology upgradations happening in the world to the doorsteps of the farmers. This improvement in the supply chain really made it possible for a company like GCMMF, that is Amul brand, to compete in the present market across, globally, because they have even exports also. They have their, companies outside our country also. So these are some of the references that I referred to prepare these case studies. Thank you for your attention and a patient hearing, friends. You can reach me at this email ID for any queries or any type of doubts you have. I will be happy to answer if you have any doubts. Or if any one of you have something to share, with all of us, we will also be very happy.
Quickly, any participants, if you want to share anything or you want to interact with ma'am for something.
As madam and sir must have discussed you in the morning, 3 steps for a case study analysis. First, understand the case, underline the important points, prepare a synopsis of the case, then identify the conceptual background on the case. Second point. Third thing, try to come up with solutions to the questions, or you can pose questions for yourself and try to come up with a solution or betterment that is written other than that.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Both the cases are really very interesting. Both the cases. So actually, what actually myself and Pawar we are discussing is, okay, next time we thought of organizing offline sessions so that we can give more time to the resource persons and also to the participants so that better interaction may be there, because all the cases really you are discussing are very excellent cases. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I request you, Ravi Garu. Yes. Yes, ma'am, please.
Yes, madam.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
there.
you.
Yes.
I'm there, madam.
Yes, sir. Please join through video. Please join through video, sir. Yes, sir. Hi. So now the participants, today's last technical session is a case analysis in finance area. And you have another excellent resource person in finance area, Dr. Tati Ravikumar Garu. Let me give a brief introduction about you before actually you start the session. It's my pleasure to introduce Ravikumar Garu. Actually, he did his MCOM, MBA, PhD, and he also qualified in NET, and he was also a project fellow of UGC. Ravikumar Garu, actually, he received so many awards and he has professional association with so many organizations. Sir got the State Best Teacher Award in 2021 in the government of Telangana. And he also got IPS Sanman Best Teacher Award in 2020. And Ravikumar Garu is associated with the Indian Accounting Association, All India Management Association, American Association, American Finance Association, and Indian Economic Association. At present, Ravikumar Garu is working as a professor and principal of KIMS Institute of Management in collaboration with, we are offering MBA Hospital and Healthcare Management Program. We are offering MBA HSCA program in collaboration with the 3 institutes, Apollo, KIMS, and Deccan. And Sir is actually taking care of the program at KIMS Hospital. Before joining in KIMS, Sir worked with the St. Mary's College. Then he was also associated with Manipal University, Dubai, MIT University, India, Asian School of Business Management, and also Finance and Accounting in the Rishi HMC, Shantiniketan degree colleges. And Sir actually, he has so many publications. He published 15 articles in various national and international journals. He attended so many conferences, and he conducted 23 workshops, and he's guiding so many PhD candidates for the award of PhD, and he's a recognized PhD supervisor at National Institute of Technology, Andhra Pradesh. So I just very honest, so
thank you so much, madam.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for your kind words, but the burden is more on me to deliver the best quality. I will try to do my best, madam.
Afraid of finance. I'm very afraid of finance. Very technical area.
I'm
so the floor is yours. Floor is yours. Thank you. Thank you.
So, very good afternoon. Today, the topic given to me is to discuss about how do we deal with cases in finance or financial management. Now, though it is given as financial management, actually, finance was part of economics, and then it was separated from economics. It has become a different discipline. Then accounting and finance complement with each other. But whatever it is, I will try to use both accounting and finance in my discussion. The time given is 1 hour. I think we have one more session. There's a cascading effect. I will try to finish it within the time given. Now, it is case analysis in the financial management. Now, let's have a brief idea about the finance. Now, there are managers who will be dealing with the stockholders, the bondholders, the society, and the financial markets. And he has to fulfill the responsibilities towards the stockholders or the shareholders, that they have to maximize the wealth for these shareholders. And when it comes to the bondholders, they have to protect the interests for the bondholders. For the society, they have to try that there is no cost for the society, maybe pollution, in terms of any other hazard, like what we have seen in the Bhopal, gas tragedy, and Chernobyl in Russia also. And also the managers have to be aware of the trends in their financial markets. So they also have to be mindful, conscious of what's happening in the financial markets. Now, what can go wrong here? Now, when we see the managers, the agents for these stockholders, and the interface between the financial markets and the stockholders, what can go wrong? When there's a little control by the stockholders on the managers try to maximize their own interests. They try to protect their interests and ignore the fact that they are there to maximize the wealth for the stockholders. And if the managers are not properly regulated or controlled, then they may be careless in their decisions, which may be costly for the society. And even in the case of bondholders, some time back when there was a subprime crisis in 2008, my professor was talking that my grandmother was not an educated at all, but she used to get 16%, 17% of the return on the money that she used to lend. But you, the fund managers, what is this? you're giving 3%, you're not able to give 3% on the money committed into your hands. He was addressing the mutual fund managers. So there is a chance that the bondholders may not be able to get the interest, but also they will be losing the principal at times. And all this is because of the ethical issue on one side, and there is also lack of knowledge in the financial markets. Now, how do they react? How the forces react in the market? Now, there will be more activism in the investors' sentiments or emotions, or they may be hostile takeovers. Now, that's what we all know, that Steve Jobs episode, when Steve Jobs floated Apple and, he was thrown out of, I'm sorry to use this word, he was pushed out of the company, and Steve had to open another company, and, he has to take over the same company which he has floated earlier. So there may be hostile takeover like that also. Then society also, may react with, through the government, there may be stringent laws. The laws are because of irresponsible managers in the business of being busy, in the business of earning returns for their shareholders. They may neglect, because they are supposed to reach the targets, and also, improve their or enhance their incentives. They may neglect the social cause, wherein the government may come into picture, say you cannot cross boundaries beyond that, then there may be laws there. So there are various ways that the players in the market business react if things go wrong. Fine. Now let me come to the case. I have two challenges here. One is, the teachers are present in the session, and there are also some students present. What I had to speak to the teachers, I should not be disclosing to the students. What I'm speaking to the students may be elementary for the teachers. So therefore, I will try to balance between these two. Now, let me just give a brief idea of the case, because the earlier teachers have already discussed enough about the cases. So therefore, I'm just skipping most of my slides so that we can spend more time on the case that is shared to you already. So it's a complex business scenario that you cannot just take decisions just like that. And you need data. Data-driven decisions can be more effective. So therefore, you need information. And problems are open-ended. They just call for the challenges and the questions and so forth. So what is a case? What type of cases you can see? There may be a descriptive cases. There may be, a case which asks you to make a decision. There may be a case which calls you for opinions by discussions and debates, and it may be a game or simulation. There may be a lengthy case as long as 25 to 30 pages of cases, and it can be a small case of half a page, or it may be a few bullet points. When you look at the case, as per the Bloom's taxonomy, it is at the high level, I consider. It is at the high level, you are trying to create at the end of all these, when you look at the pyramid, all these things you're doing, you remember, you understand, you apply, you analyze, you evaluate, finally come to a conclusion that this is my point of view, or this is my decision. So at the pyramid, you find creating through the case. So I'm skipping this also. You can have an effective learning through cases, and there can be self-direction, and you can take responsibility for learning. And there's a cooperation needed, and I'm just skipping that. So let me come to one, thought presented by Raymond, Professor Raymond. And he says, real learning is never at ease. You can't just get it just like that. You had to struggle. I keep telling my students, the job that you get just like that easily, it is not a work job. You had to fight for a job. You had to struggle to get a job. And that's a thrill where you enjoy after you join that job. And the job that you get easily, you may have a chance that you will lose it easily. Similarly, the learning that you dedicate your time, you dedicate your energies and spend, you engage, then that is a real learning. It is not just a passive learning we are talking about. It is a learning that comes out of engagement. It's a learning that comes through the dedication. So students with the best insights have learned through practice how to connect information from pages 2 of the case with a quote from the page 8. I have supplied to you 6 pages case. Out of that, 2 pages are tables and 4 cases and 1 page is an additional information. The real case is only 3 pages. That means 3 pages case and 3 pages supplementary information is provided to you. So when you are going through the case, when you're reading it first time, you don't understand. And reading it second time, you understand a little. Third time, when you try to read it, you are trying to connect the dots from page 1 to the page 6. Everything you try to connect, that is what you have to do. That's an actual learning, comes out of you being engaged, completely involved in the learning. So the active learning, it is not just just learning, you're also engaging yourselves in the discussions. Through that, there's a social interaction. Now, you can take it, from our childhood, all that we remember for the last 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, we just still remember what happened when we were at year 8 or 10. It is because we learned those things in our childhood through social interactions, and they're so indelible that cannot be erased from our memory. So therefore, the students try to resolve questions that have no single right answer. He says, just before this session, Professor was talking about, for a case, there is no right answer or a wrong answer. When we were discussing as children, we were talking about many things, but everybody has their own opinion, and we remember what we have discussed, and we also remember what the friend said, and we also remember what the third person also said. So it is a collaborative engagement. It is a social, angle to the learning process. So therefore, case-based teaching, case-based learning is given high importance in Harvard. Okay. So therefore, Harvard being the best business school in the world, maybe one of the best business schools. So therefore, we try to draw most of the things from Harvard. Okay. Now, I'm just speaking. I'm just going with a monologue. Okay. I'm just going to give you space for you to interact with me. But let me present this theoretical aspect of case learning. Then we'll come back to the case. So the active learning and passive learning, in passive learning, what we see, we have been experiencing passive learning. We receive the ideas, we answer the questions only when questions are asked, we answer, and until then, we don't open our mouth. Okay, and here, whatever analysis that is being made, we just try to give time and also try to examine the text, accept the assumptions and the postulations anybody presents, and there may be a dialogue between the teacher and the student. And here in the passive learning, it is the teacher which is important, not the learner. That's where, for nearly 3-4 millenniums, this has been happening. Whatever Plato said, that's final for Aristotle. Whatever Aristotle said, that's final for Alexander the Great. So maybe it happened like that. But days are changing, and it is a student-centric learning that is given importance. And it is the learner who is to be given importance. Therefore, student-focused, student-centric learning is encouraged. Okay. When you look at active learning, I will just share one example. All of us know the story of prodigal son. There's a rich man, and one of the sons of rich man said, just give away my share. I would just want to go away from this house. And the father had to give the share of his property, and he goes away and wastes his money, property. And finally, with shame, he comes back to his father, and the father forgives. That's a story all about. When this story is being explained in the schools, no student, none of the passive learner has said, they were silently, with all interest, they were listening that story, but nobody asked a question. And one of the students, he raised the question, teacher, when he's going out of the house, taking his share of money, what about the mother? Did she not stop this son from going home? He said. Now the teacher was so disturbed with his question and said, hey, shut up, because the teacher were agitated because the answer is not there in the story. It is not mentioned anywhere in the story, but this student raised the question, what about the mother? Now, it is out-of-box thinking. The active learner always raises questions, makes analysis, engages in the text, and challenges the assumptions. That's how the Einstein was, asked to go out of the class, in fact, go out of the school, but he became a noted scientist. Now, there are methods, I have already discussed, and I'm just skipping so that we can just get into the case. And these are the methods. The best way to teach the case is to start writing the case. And while handling the case, these are the challenges that a teacher comes across. It cannot, when you are leaving the case for the discussion, the class cannot focus on one topic. One fellow focuses on one paragraph and a particular issue, which is completely different from the rest of the class. And similarly with other group of people. Now the class cannot discuss on a particular given topic in consonance, in unification. And, you also come across erratic behavior while dealing with the cases. And there may be some unwanted behavioral patterns of the students, which will make us lose the control over the students when we are leading a case. And this has been experience of every teacher, which is starting with the case. Because our students are accustomed to only lecturing, not a discussion. But this is the case different with regard to the other countries. When I started teaching to a variety of students, maybe 54 nationalities, I was an odd man out because I was continuously speaking for 1.5 hours, and the students were least bothered, not at all interested, and that was a disaster for me. Now, because they were used to dialogue and I was going with a monologue, which is not accepted. So therefore, the teacher may lose control in Indian scenario, but it has to start somewhere. Therefore, even if it is so, there are ways that we can improvise, and it is the practice which makes us, and it is the association of the teachers who are already teaching these cases which makes us improve ourselves. And these are some of the sources that you can get the cases. These are the sources, and the best source for finance and business is Harvard. And I will come back to the discussion maybe after the case. Now, till here, if I have any questions, I would like to field them maybe in 2 minutes. Then quickly we'll jump into the case. I'm just giving you a minute and we can discuss for 2 minutes. So I'm just closing this presentation. I will come back with a case. Now the case is shared to you. I hope that the case is with you all, the students. My focus now here is students, more so for the MBA in hospital and healthcare management students, because the case is healthcare management case. It is relevant to the hospital. And I want the answers for the questions that I have given to you. Can I get the answers? Some assignment questions I have given to you when I have shared the case. Yes, please. Yes, please. I have given you some questions. Yeah. Please go through the case. Please go through the case. I've given you some questions. Okay, let me ask you the question. What's going on in Calabash? Okay. The case is Calabash Community Hospital. And don't be surprised what this word is. It's a city. It's a city in the United States, and Calabash means it is a bottle gourd. It's a pot-like bottle gourd. It's not a long bottle gourd. It's a pot-like bottle gourd. And this is the name given to that city. That's it. This is a community hospital. Right. Let me come to the first question. I have given you some assignment questions. What's going on in Calabash Community Hospital? It's a health center, hospital. What's happening? You can read the case and say, or you don't need to read it here because we don't have that much time to read it, but I want you to answer me the question straight away. What's happening in Calabash Hospital?
Students, please interact. The questions were already shared with you. In groups we posted, we have already posted the question.
Yes, ma'am. You can also refer the case in front of you. You can just see and say also. Okay. Let me ask you, what is ASC? What is ASC? From the case, you can see the case and say. You can see the case and speak out. You can speak out or also can message. Yes. Yeah, Calabash is a city and it's also a county, like our constitution in our country. Okay. It's a it's a small rural county in South Carolina. Fine. And what is ASC? ASC. Yeah, you can message me if you cannot speak. You can message me. Yeah, outpatient surgical center. Yeah.
So
Mr.
is it
Yes, please.
So it's ambulatory surgical centers?
Yeah. Ambulatory surgical center. ASC. Yeah, it is also outpatient surgical center. It is also, but since it is given ASC, it is ambulatory surgical center. Yeah, you can also say ambulatory surgical emergency center. But in this case, we're calling it ASC. Okay, now what's happening in ASC? Okay, now let me ask you, is there any competition for CCH, Calabash Community Hospital? Is there any competition? Are there any other hospitals around? Okay. Now let me ask you another question. Is it a limited company or a not-for-profit company? Not-for-profit organization? Yes.
Calabasas Hospital does have competition.
Okay. Okay. Competition. Yeah.
Could you kindly repeat the other question,
competition is there. Yeah, very good. Competition is there, but very negligible because they had to go about 65 miles. Yeah?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So therefore, around 50 kilometers radius, there's no hospital. Fine. Okay. Then is it a profit? Is it a profitable, company for profit or not for profit organization? It's a not-for-profit organization. Okay. The answer I'm giving. Okay. I'm just giving you hints so that you can just, come to the flow in the case. You keep the case in front of you. When you're dealing with the case, you have to frequently mark again and again. When you read for the first time, you will get some thoughts. You underline those points. When you're reading the second time, another flash of thought comes, you underline that particular point, right? And that's how you have to come out. Now, my next question is, what is your recommendation regarding ASC? And okay, let me ask you another question. How much of the investment is proposed for the ASC by the CCH? What's the investment proposed? What's the worth of the investment proposed by the CCH for ASC?
203.1 billion by 2026. Huh?
No. Okay. Good attempt. But about 10 million investment is proposed. And the 203 is the global one. That's a bigger one. That's a bigger picture. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, you have tried. What is your recommendation regarding ASC? How do you, would you go for it? Would you suggest that the investment in ambulatory service has to be kept?
Okay. Yes, sir. It is a need.
Right. I think now I got it. I got from the discussion that many have not read the case. Okay. Many have not read the case. Now, let me give you the gist of the case. There's one fellow. What's one fellow? That's Scott. Scott is the fellow, who just came out of his office and looked at, at a distance, there's a hospital, his old hospital. And there he was in the purchasing department, and he had a companion, the colleague. He was in the finance department, purchases department, and he had a colleague. And he was trying to recollect his discussion with his colleague. And at that time, he went back to his previous thoughts. And at that time, there is a pressure on the hospital inpatient. Therefore, minimally invasive procedures can be done even in the outpatient. That's what they thought. And when all other hospitals around the United States are having these ASCs, this particular hospital is still not having ASC. And when they proposed, one of the gastroenterologists said, where are you guys? You're thinking that you're trying to achieve something because it's already there. It's already there everywhere. We are just starting newly. And they started discussing, whether we should go for it or not. To go for it or not, they had to check the previous history. Okay, what is the pressure? What is the volume of the surgeries in the inpatient? And what is the volume of the patient served in outpatient? What is the volume of the patient served in inpatient? And the surgeries in the inpatient. So they were having some background check of what was happening earlier. Then they had to come out with a decision whether we should go for this project or not. This is the crux of the entire case, the story of this particular document. Now, this story we had to analyze, we had to discuss, dialogue. You had to challenge me. The participants sitting in this session have to challenge me. Okay. And when I say something, when I propose something, you have to challenge me. And I should be able to give justification to what I'm saying. If I'm not able to give justification, then I had to yield to your point of view. So this is how the case should go. But when it comes to the finance case, for the finance case, the decision is subjected to the opinions. Decision is subjected to the market forces information. But when it is a numerics, there's no way that you can change the figures. The digits cannot be changed. Based on those digits, you can take a decision which may vary from CFO 1 to CFO 2 to CFO 3, the Chief Finance Officer 1 to 2 to 3. Okay, so therefore, the decision may vary, but the figures remain same. Figures will not be changing. That's the difference between a finance case and a non-finance case. I think this is the same with the operations case also. Okay, so in these two scenarios, the digits, the figures will not be changing. The decision evolved out of those digits will be changing from expert to expert. Okay, now let me ask you some more questions, or maybe a couple of questions I will be asking. Now, DCF, what is DCF? Yeah, since I understand we might be in most of the colleges, we might be in the third semester. That means we have already completed accounting and finance courses, wherein we have studied discounting technique. Compounding and discounting were discussed when we were studying time value of money or time preference for money. So the DCF is discounted cash flow technique, right? Now, is DCF analysis relevant for a not-for-profit organization like CCH? Yeah, I want your opinions, please. Is DCF analysis, guys, please respond. You can also go through the case, just to get some ideas and thoughts to respond to me when I'm asking you a question. Is DCF analysis relevant for a not-for-profit organization? Not-for-profit enterprise is the question, assignment question I have given you in the group. I'm giving you 1 minute time. Please try to respond. Even if it is wrong, no problem. Please don't hesitate to give wrong answer. As Naeem sir said, there is no wrong answer. There is no right answer for a case. We didn't come to the digits. So therefore, do not hesitate to respond. Is DCF analysis relevant for a not-for-profit organization or not?
So it's important, sir, for a non-profit organization.
Yeah. Why?
To produce profits.
Why?
To produce profits, sir.
Yeah. Now, you're saying it's a not-for-profit organization. Not-for-profit, just now I said the answer can be this way or that way. There is no right answer or a wrong answer when you are discussing on a case. So it is important, says Trupti, and maybe Monica may differ from it. Now, if you ask why Monica is differing, why Monica gives a contrast answer to the same question, she may say something. Since, you're a not-for-profit organization and, there are a lot of, you can't just count on money. What Ms. Trupti Reddy says is, so whether it is profit organization or organization for profit or organization for not profit, since capital is important, therefore, this DCF is important even for a not-for-profit organization. But Monica says, Monica says it is not important because it is the value of life for the country, for the nation. So therefore, you need not estimate the present value of the future cash flows. That's what we talk about, the discounted cash flows. When we talk about discounted cash flows, you need not worry about the present value of the future cash flows. Whether you get money or not, that's not the matter. Your main goal is to save people, save lives. So therefore, discounting cash flow technique is irrelevant, says Monica. Look at this. So there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. Right. So, there's one personality called Emily. Yeah. The friend, the colleague of Scott. She says 7% is the discount rate. Yeah. Which says, it's appropriate. It's enough. Is that really appropriate? 7% is the discount rate. Discounting. The rupee value gets discounted by 7% every year. That's what Emily says. So during the discussion, the discussion is so lengthy with the digits and figures, but I have summed it up in 3 or 4 minutes just now. So she says that 7%, 7% is that enough? What is your opinion on this percent? When you're talking about discount, when you're talking about the discount rate, at the rate at which the rupee, the dollar gets discounted with the passage of the time, is this sufficient enough?
No, sir.
Yeah. And when you say no, how do you say it is no? Why do you say no?
When you say it's non-profitable, so it should not differ even if it is 7% or 10%. If there is a more percent of discount, the consumer or the client may get attracted. So for an organization, it should not differ if it is 7 or 10%.
Yeah. Okay. This is social angle you're talking about, just like Monica. Okay. What else it could be? As a businessman, as a finance expert, what else others can contribute on this? Is 7% appropriate for evaluating the project of ASC in CCH, sorry. Now, the rate that you're selecting, it is not 7%, it is not 8%, it is not 10%, but it should be risk-adjusted discount rate. It should be this risk-adjusted. You have to consider the market forces in operation while you're identifying this rate. Now, what we are used to in our examinations is there's a rate given there and there's less chance of the student trying to ask questions in the class or trying to elaborate in the examination papers. We are not given a freedom to think, freedom to write also. And whatever is given, that only we had to write. But here, you're asked to analyze, you're asked also to say whether this is relevant or appropriate or not. This is okay, but you also have to consider whether it is risk adjusted or not. And what is the expected net present value associated with the ASC? That we will be calculating, we'll be doing that. Right? We will be doing that. NPV, we will be calculating. Right. What are the key assumptions that are required to support your ASC investment? What are the assumptions? From the case you can take, from the case you can use. Yeah, you may take the reimbursement scenarios. Okay, the reimbursement rate. And if you are considering ASC, then the numbers in inpatient surgeries may come down, and to that extent, your income also may come down. That's what given in the case. It may affect by $300,000. Yes. So this is one assumption. Yes. Okay. So this is the last question I gave you. The assumptions, I think, the assumptions. Now, let me just take you to the case. I'll just flash the case. Right. Can you see the case, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this case is with all of you. This case is with all of you. Right? And the gist I have given you, and in details we are coming to. Palm Gray is one name. Scott is a name already you know. Okay. Then, yeah, you see, I have highlighted just like a student. I have highlighted just like a student, right? So it's a not-for-profit community hospital with 265 beds, right? And these are the facilities it has. Now, I said 60 miles, it is 90 miles away. 90 miles, it comes around 120 kilometers. So for about 120 kilometers, there's no hospital competing with the CCH. And then the project. Yeah. So the market reports say that it is growing in maybe in 8 to 10 years, it will grow maybe almost double from $133 billion to $203 billion. So therefore, you had to act upon. There's an urgency. And there's a brief introduction about the hospital. 40% of the hospital surgeries are qualified for outpatient surgeries or procedures. That means you can go about. Yeah, there's a scope for you to proceed with the project. And about 2,500 procedures in a year can be performed. Right? And there may be a chance that in the first year, you may just do it just half of that. And most of the specialties that you will be handling, if at all, if you're opening ASCs, are orthopedics, gastroenterology, ophthalmology, pain management, and plastic surgery. And the expected or the estimated average net reimbursements, about $2,250 per procedure. And the inflation also is taken into consideration, and it may vary from -1 to +5. And with an aggregate, with an average of 1% increase. Okay. Then yeah, this is an additional information given to us. Now let's come to the figures. This is also additional information, how the bond yield in different major economies from Australia to the United States. Then bond yields. Yeah, bond yields, when we look at the bond yields, capital A, small a gives 2.32% of return in the US. These are bond ratings. I'm telling this for the non-finance students. If it is AA, there is a very less chance of default of interest and principal. A is little risky compared to this. B is even more riskier than A. BA is more riskier than BAA. B is, there's a high chance that you may lose your interest along with your principal, if at all, if you invest in a bond like this, bond rated on this. When you look at the returns, the high-rated bonds give you less interest. Low-rated bonds give you high interest. Yeah. If you look at the money borrowers also, those who want to pay money back will bargain for the interest lowering with you. Sir, I want 1 lakh rupees. Then immediately you'll say 15% interest I'm charging, 2 rupees interest, that is 24% I'm charging. So 2 rupees are very high. Can you consider 1 rupee 50 paise? Okay, 18% per annum. So then with all difficulty, you agree for it. He is bargaining for the interest because he has an intention to pay back. But there are some cases where whatever is the interest amount, but I will pay it. Now I need 1 lakh. 36%, 3 rupees, no problem. Even if it is 5 rupees, no problem. I will pay it. So they take it even if it is 5 rupees. Okay, so this is how the behavior of these, rating, instruments. Okay, next I will come to exhibit 3. I'm sorry. Right, sir. Can you see my Excel sheet? Any of you? Or you can message.
Not yet, sir. Not yet, sir.
Okay. Yeah, this is the data given in the case. Okay, this is the data supplied along with the case, right? This, the CCH has financial data supplied for the financial year 2018, and it has 475 outpatient centers, 255 ambulatory surgery centers, 68 hospitals, 23 surgical hospitals, 36 urgent care centers, 23 imaging centers, and the revenue is 18.3, and the enterprise, the firm's value of the company is $21.4 billion. Market equity is 6.1, debt is 4.6. Look at this. If you club these two, you will get the total value of the firm, market value of the firm. And operating margin is 11%, return on assets is 5.5%, beta, which is systemic risk or systematic risk. Beta is a systematic risk. It is the responsiveness of your company's stock, or it is the responsiveness of your company's instrument with a given change in the market. If the market is going positive, how your stock is responding. If the market is going negative, how your stock is responding. Let's say the market is Bombay Stock Exchange. If the sensitive index is going down, how is your stock responding to that going down index? If the index is moving upward, how is your stock is responding to that? It is responsiveness, or also called systemic risk, which is 9%. Let's say if it is 1.3%, this is within 1. Systemic risk is within 1. That means you're not responding beyond the market. You're in the control. Let's say if it is 1.3, you have a 30% risk of losing money in the market. That is the meaning of that information. Fine. Bond rating also, I told you, A++, AAA, AAA. It is highly respected bonds, okay? And low rates, let's say B or BA, these are lowest. Less chance of getting back money or more chance of losing money. And if it is A or AAA, it is more chance of, getting back money and less chance of losing it. Fine. So this is the data supplied to us. Yeah. When it comes to the surgery partners, and this is the revenue. And I will straight away go to, the DCF. This is the blank Excel sheet. Can you see my sheet, Excel sheet? This is a blank Excel sheet. Actually, there are formulae. We don't have time. I have no time to show you how to insert the formulae in the Excel sheet. But actually, you may ask me, sir, how you got this sheet? And, let's say the procedures for year. Let's say I will say 2,500 procedures. Okay. And the annual rate of increase in procedures, let's say 1%. Okay. Then current average net reimbursement per procedure. Okay. Current net average reimbursement, let's say 1,000. Okay. Then annual rate of change for reimbursement, 1%. Okay. Now, then fixed costs are, let's say 685. I'm sorry, 950, I think. Yeah, 950. Yeah. Capital expenditure, let's say 2,400. Annual inflation rate, let's say on an average, it is 1%. Salvage value, it is 7.5 million from the case. 750, I'll say. Yeah. And variable cost also is given. Yeah, I'll say. Impact on hospital, 300,000. Accounts receivable, 90 days. Value of the land, $7 million at the end. %. Yeah. So when I have inserted the inputs, these are the details if I would have got from the case. When I have inserted the data from, I picked up the data from the case and inserted here. And you got the values for all that you wanted. What's the total fixed cost? What's the variable cost? Total variable cost. What's the depreciation? Everything you got it. Okay. And finally, you got a free cash flow from the year 22 to 31. That's what given in the case. From year 22 to 31 is what we are asked to analyze. When analyze, the net cash flows or free cash flows are given like this. Okay, 944,000 to, yeah, it is 37,16,831. Okay, the net present value given here, it is wrong. Okay, now I have, some figures I have taken correct, some figures I have taken wrong, but actual correct figures I'm just showing you now. Okay, right. These are the correct figures. These are the figures that we have drawn from the case. It was a story. From the story, we collected the figures, and those figures we have dropped here in the Excel sheet, and the Excel sheet gave us the net present value. Okay, the net present value of $1,252. Okay, and this is the net present value. It is in minus. It is negative. It is negative. It is negative. Do you understand? It is negative. What is net present value again? I'm talking to you as if you have studied financial management already. When you use a discount rate, in this case, it is 7%. There is a cash flow generation through reimbursement. Okay. And there is a procedure price debt. Okay. And there's a reimbursement. And we took those figures And those figures we have discounted every year from year 22 to 31. Every year you have discounted. So first you calculated the absolute figures, then you have discounted it. And from the discounted future cash inflows, you have deducted the discounted present investment in this ASC project, the ambulatory surgery center. For this, you are investing money. This amount is discounted. Presently, the dollar value now is $1 only. So therefore, you don't need to do anything. What you have done is you have simply deducted the investment of 10,000. That's 1 million. There are 3 more zeros to be added here. So that it is, 10 million. Sorry. Yeah. So this is the investment, and this investment, initial investment, which is need not be discounted, because today's dollar value is today $1 only. So therefore, you don't need to discount it. What you have to do is you have to discount for the future cash flows, which you have done it. Every year you have done it, and you have consolidated it, and then you deducted this from this revenue. You have deducted the initial investment. Then you say, the net present value. Discounted cash flows minus initial investment gives you the net present value. This net present value is negative here. Scott was having some basics from business because he studied in his school days that time preference for the money. And therefore, he said that cash flows should be discounted. And when he used this cash flow discounting procedure, it is only negative. The net present value is negative. Now, in a health center, in a community health center, which is not for profit, whose revenues and profits are not subjected to tax by the federal government in the United States, even in that case, Scott says the discounted technique has to be applied. After all, it is capital. After all, it is very important to discount the cash or to discount the revenue that is going to be generated for the coming 10 years or for coming 9 years. Okay. So this is the net present value. Now, this is not the end of the story. If I'm taking time, Mr. Radhakrishna, Doctor, am I taking time? I will just close it in a...
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Am I encroaching into other session?
How much time you need more, sir?
Sir? Yes, madam. I'll close it in 3 minutes, madam.
No issues, please.
Oh, okay.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the scenario, net present value. Now, your net present value changes with the information again supplied to you. With the information supplied to you. If the annual rate of increase in procedures, if it is increasing by 1%, this is your net present value. If it is increasing by 2%, this is your net present value. If it is increasing by 3%, what? Increase in procedures, increasing by 3%, your NPV, net present value, becomes $1,452 positive, from minus $1,252 to plus $1,452 if it is increasing. This is another condition given. If the reimbursements increase, and this is how it grows, right? And if there's a change in the mix, procedure mix, the NPV is this. If there's if there is an effect of the inpatient profits, this is how it's going to affect. And if the procedures are changing from 2,000 to 3,000 per year, your NPV will be changing from this to this. If the salvage value is 7 million, it is this. And if you are investing, if you're investing instead of 90 days, if it is 60 days, again your your NPV is changing. That means your NPV that we get generally in our examination, in our textbook, has to understand in multidimensional view like this. Only then we can make an accurate decision for the business. After all, so much of huge capital, which is the sacrifice of the households, is entrusted into our hands. So therefore, our decision has to be accurate. Otherwise, their small savings are very important, but they were not consuming it, but interested in the form of insurance, mutual funds, and which becomes big amount, and that is being invested in the shares. And that share capital, it is given to us, entrusted to us. And when it is entrusted to us as businessmen, as CFOs, we had to deal with care, taking into holistic picture of the market forces. Thank you very much. And we will stop it here. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ravi Garu.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. All the sessions, really, they are very excellent and very interesting. Now I request Professor Power to conduct further proceedings of the webinar.
Yeah. I thank, first of all, I would like to thank all the officers of the university, right from Vice Chancellor to my colleagues in the department, resource persons for various technical sessions, right from Dr. R. Nageshwar Rao, Professor Y. Kiranmai, Professor A. Patrick from Usmania University, and then Professor Anil Ramesh is also here with us. Then Dr. Naeem, Dr. Vivian Lakshmi, and last but not the least, Dr. Ravi Kumar Totti from KIMS Institute of Management. All are the resource persons for these 2 days program. And I must thank them profusely because they have spared their time and energy for the purpose of our learners. Particularly, they know how distance learners are focus on their studies while learning and earning. So Professor Anil Ramesh has been there with us for more than 2 decades. Dr. Ravi Kumar and all of them, they are associating with our university and engaging. We are trying to engage them in different purposes, and more particularly for this 2-day webinar, with the intention to basically this program was planned in such a way to give some inputs to the PG diploma programs which are recently launched in the year 2022-23, and they are going to complete their first semester now. And they are going to have their examinations, that is semester end examination, from 14th November. So before that, we thought of giving them inputs on how to deal with case study. And also, subsequently, they have to go with project work in their second semester, because it is only 2 semesters, 1-year program. And also, we thought of including MBA students. Anyway, they are doing project report and case study analysis, and NGO as well. So keeping this all in view, we thought of this 2-day webinar, more particularly diploma and MBA students. And also a new initiative that we have done with is, we have recognized some supervisors, about 40-50 teachers working in different institutions in the state of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So we thought of giving them in some inputs on our format, how we are following at our BRAOU, right from the preparation of project proposal and also project report. So this is one aspect. On the other hand, case analysis is also very, very important. As I mentioned, case analysis is the basics for making sound decisions. And we all of us know managers are generally they spend a lot of time, we can say, because there are many studies prove that more than 60% of their time they spend on decision making. So how decision making process is important. So we at our department thought of giving them some inputs on how to analyze the case, which is not, generally we people think it is not a precise writing, or at the same time it is also not a paragraph writing, but it is altogether different. A case analysis means a micro case, micro study or problem or issue arising out of day-to-day operations where we are engaging in our business organizations as managers and authorities as well. So friends, I think for 2 days, we have, an idea in our mind that our objective of this 2-day webinar is to enable the participants, that is students of management program, to define a research problem, prepare suitable research design, define research objectives, formulate and test the hypothesis, and identify appropriate tools, statistical tools and techniques for data analysis for arising or what you call coming to a conclusion with valid findings and suggestions. That is the very purpose of any project report, which is a comprehensive document. And second objective was to enable that students to understand report writing and writing research proposals. And third objective was to enable the students to get an overview of business cases and how to use case analysis and arrive at a decision. And I hope after having these 2 days sessions are with various issues and topics, and we also identified some outcomes from this 2-day program. One is the students are in a position to write both research proposal and that is project proposal as well as project report. And also they are able to use different approaches to analyze the case in their domain area of marketing, HR, finance, and operations, for which we have identified and engaged 4 eminent speakers on their respective domain. And throughout all the technical sessions, I was here and listening to all the speakers, and they have wonderfully delivered their talk, very meticulously worked and delivered. And I hope our students might have enjoyed all these sessions and come to a conclusion that they have learned something out of it. See, it is a continuous process, and out of all these sessions, definitely they have come to an understanding concept of what is research proposal, what is research project, and then what is case analysis and how to deal with case analysis. That is the main purpose of behind this program. And friends, when you are talking about case project report, we already mentioned, but still I want to brief you in a couple of minutes about project report. We follow only a very, 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 very small project concept, and you take a small topic for your study and try to take as a new topic as much as possible, because we have given some list of topics. It is only for idea generation. It is to how you have to think about identifying the research topic. So try to take new one instead of taking old ones, because you will not learn anything out of old ones, because always HR students take HR recruitment and selection, training and development, performance appraisal. These are the very, very common topics. Similarly, in case of finance, working capital management, financial performance, capital budgeting, and so on. And, in case of marketing, always people talk about advertising, sales promotion, sales, and consumer behavior. These are the very common topics, but you can take umpteen number of topics are available. Only thing what you have to do is you have to have a desire of taking new topic, and you have to work something on it by consulting your supervisor. So we will provide you in a day or 2 the list of supervisors with their specializations, so that you can able to approach them and take required input and make your project proposal ready. And all the supervisors and students are requested to follow the your guidelines which is given to you all, because your proposal should not get rejected not more than once. Because, and I wish it should go in one way or one go, So it is in this context, all the supervisors are requested to give some time to each student so that they will be able to come out with some quality work. And one more point I would like to highlight here is try to work on your own topic and try to produce as, a original work, which is always helps you in your not only present working scenario, but also for your future prospects. And when it comes to project report, last point is you have to follow the last date guidelines or deadlines. After that, don't try to send your proposal. So because there must be some 2 months gap after a proposal is approved. So submit your proposal to the headquarters, that is in the name of head department, which is already given in the guidelines. And after the head of the department is gone through it, it will be forwarded to the dean and dean will approve finally. So approval information will be given to all the approved candidates. And if not, also we will inform you from our office, you will get a phone call that whether it is approved or not. If not approved, what are the problems there in that you have to discuss. But those who are local from Hyderabad, they can personally submit and get it approved. But when it comes to Hyderabad, other than Hyderabad, outstation students, they have to take much precautions while preparing draft proposal and also report writing, and taking all necessary inputs, precautions, and guidance from your respective guides, and try to send by courier in case of proposal. And in case of project report, you have to submit one copy to the respective study center where we conduct Viva-Voce examination well in advance before the scheduled date of Viva-Voce examination. So sometimes it depends on the number of students where we conduct the Viva-Voce examination will be intimated by the control of examinations. So I wish you all the best for your project report, because all the speakers and all the resource persons who are involved in the two-day webinar might have given you enough data and information how to go about all your project report. And when it comes to second part of the webinar, that is case analysis, I trust and I believe that all the resource persons have given wonderful talk and analysis, and all the students enjoyed. And I want to know at least a couple of students' feedback in this session now, those who are here now. I think on marketing, there are two cases analyzed. And on HR also, Dr. Naeem given 2 cases. Dr. Vivian Lakshmi also presented 2 cases on operations management, and which are very relevant and popular. Dr. Ravi Kumar talked about, finance management. So definitely I would have more enjoyed if it is offline, because it would be more effective than online. But one unhappy for me, why most of the students are not present, because the very purpose of this program is to give them inputs, and some of them are not in other areas. So wherever you are attending, see, if you are not in a position to spare 2 days for your purpose, it is for self purpose, how can you spare for others? So first, people say general talk, if anybody asks children or anybody else, if I ask my kid or son or daughter, to whom you love more? So kids say always, I love my mom, or I love my dad. It is all drama, I can say, simply because you have to love first yourself. Until and unless you love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. It is true. And I think learner colleagues will accept. Because you say first, I love myself. then you can say anybody else. This is the context why I'm saying this point is you have to respect yourself. That is self-respect. Then only you can respect others. So when you can't spare time for you, how can you spare your time for others? That is very important. And you are at learning stage. So when you are at learning stage, you have to give enough time, enough care for you to, which will help you for throughout your program and also life. See, case analysis is not just like that. So for case analysis, you know, Cambridge or Harvard Business School, they charge lakhs and lakhs of rupees for FDPs. And we are providing free of cost. So imagine, you know, it is not like that, you know, free is equal to free. Because we are with the intention to give our students as quality as possible. And therefore, we are requesting and identifying very good resource persons to give you necessary inputs to empower you with not only research methodology, but also case analysis. And generally, most of the majority of the education institution doesn't do this. My friend, Dr. Anil Ramesh is very much here. So except ICFI Business School or some autonomous institutions, but 90% of conventional institutions do not focus on this. Rather, most of the institutions, they do not have the case analysis in their curriculum. So because takers are not showing interest, but we keep case analysis as a mandatory because we want to train them with a micro level study and make them to take sound decisions for making their business organizations more successful. This is with background we thought of giving, and we planned in such a way to give you all inputs. And I feel very happy and proud that all the resource persons tried their level best to give the necessary and more than what I expected. Definitely, I'm really delighted with their talk and all that. You know, and I want to hear, and though we are happy with the resource persons and the students' participation, but in fact, we want to know the original feedback or first-hand information from the student side. So now, at least 2 to 3 students' feedback I need before we go for formal vote of thanks and closing the session. Student friends, please give your feedback in 30 seconds. Not more than that, because we want to close it, because already we are running short of time and it is almost 4:25. So at least 2 to 3 students' feedback. Anybody?
The resource persons are also on the
Yeah,
line.
we'll also request resource persons and their feedback.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
any student want to interact with.
Yeah, first we try to hear from the students.
Yeah, Anil is here, Ravi is here. If anybody wants to interact with the resource persons, they can.
Mr. Vamshi is very active. He wants to say something. Yeah. Please. Uday Kumar, Rajesh, Kalyan, Abhiram, Chandini. There are many.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Lingaya.
Yes,
Vijaya is also
go
there.
ahead. Tripti is saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to thank all the faculty members for imparting us with wonderful wisdom. It was a very interactive session.
If it is not, then we want to hear from the resource persons.
No, sir. It was extremely...
It is also available, no?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. It was a wonderful...
Can I hear?
Yes, sir. That's me, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful
Dr.
interaction,
Anil Ramesh.
I'm grateful that it was an interactive session rather than just
I'm able to hear you, Professor Power. Yes. Tripti, please continue.
I'm grateful that it was an interactive session rather than just a lecture, sir, because that way we could actually interact.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. I look forward to more such events in the future.
Fine. Thank you.
Power, sir, I have a small suggestion because See, what is happening is a lot of things are happening online. And Kiran madam was saying that yesterday morning the attendance was 200. And I really appreciate all the 34, 35 students who have been here for 2 days. What I would suggest is whenever you conduct such events, check up the attendance. And let us take, if you conduct 4 or 5 such webinars, I think you should definitely consider them in some way so that it be an encouragement. Because if they're attending on Saturday and Sunday, they have shown their seriousness. I think apart
Yes.
from certificate, if you can have some other way of encouraging, it would be very nice. That is my view.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dr. Ravi Kumar.
Good evening,
Sir,
sir.
if I may
And good
speak.
evening, all the esteemed members. Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir. And it is very interesting. I have also attended a couple of sessions. It was very good. I think for the cases, sir, we, as you said just now,
Offline.
students relish more when it is on site, because the 3-hour session I had to compress into just 90 minutes. I'm sorry, 60 minutes or 1 hour. And also, the true flavor of the case, I'm not so happy as it was on the on-site. So it's good that if you can plan for some on-site programs also, the title can be same instead of offline. I'm sorry, online, on-site can be thought over. This is my suggestion.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for your concern. We'll make a note of it. Madam Lakshmi ji.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. It was great interacting in this session. It was really interesting also. I feel it was a learning experience for me also, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody? Yeah. Now I request Madam Professor Y.S. Kiranmai to share her views, if any. And then we'll start.
Hello.
I think Deepa Keshavan, somebody wants to talk, I think so.
Yeah,
Good evening, sir.
please.
Yeah.
This is Sarita, Dr. Sarita, sir.
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for conducting this kind of webinar. Actually, as a guide and as a counselor, I too learned a lot many things. Yesterday, started from Kiranmai Madam class. Every even small nano points were covered here, and every resource person have done their part wonderfully. Thank you very much, and I too learned a lot many things about how to guide the students. Thank you for the whole team. Thank you.
Okay, fine, ma. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, you want to say, madam, anything?
Yes,
Yeah.
Howard, thank you so much. And really enjoyed all the sessions along with the students, and I'm happy to share that. See that some of our product guys, they attended on 2 days, both all the sessions from yesterday and today completely. I really happy to see their names here. And intentionally, actually, we scheduled this webinar on Saturday and Sunday so that we thought more number of students, because it's a holiday, more number of students can join the program. And yesterday, really, we were so excited after seeing the number actually joined for the inaugural program. Of course, yesterday almost some 60 to 70 candidates attended all the sessions. And of course, I don't know the reason why today's the attendance is not so encouraged. So for the next sessions, my dear students, please pass on the message to others, actually how useful the sessions were. Professor Ravikaru, actually myself and Pawar, we were discussing the same thing. Next time, okay, we better to organize sessions offline both on site, so that more time can be given to the resource persons, and also better if it is face to face. The students also can interact better. And actually, we thought of uploading the project guides along with their specializations because for the facility of the student. But it doesn't mean that the guide has to guide only in that area. If the guide has time and if he is interested in guiding in other areas also, we don't have any objection. Only for the facility of the student, we upload the guide, details of the project guides along with their specializations. So thank you, sir. Thank you all the resource persons, Professor Nageshwara Garu, Patrick, Anil, Ravi, Lakshmi Garu, Naeem Garu, everybody. Thank you so much. And we wish we'll meet more number of times on the platforms like this. So now, Pawar, the last incident, the last.
Sir, please mute, sir. We will not able to listen. Please mute. Unmute.
So we can't hear you, sir. Please unmute.
Yeah. Dr. Radhakrishna, you are requested to propose formal vote of thanks.
Yeah. Very good evening, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. On behalf of Department of Business Management, it gives me immense pleasure to propose a formal vote of thanks. So thank you for the resource persons for their contributions and presenting their cases, and also to the participants, their time. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University for giving this opportunity to everyone. And this is okay, sir.
Thank you, one and all. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention one thing, sir. That feedback form and for the purpose of certificate, it is shared in the link also, sir, in chat box, and I will share in the group also, in PG diploma programs and other student groups also, sir.
Yeah, that is the announcement, from our side, for giving feedback and obtaining or downloading the certificate, you can use the link, and we'll keep it for one more day, 24 hours. So you can join in the link and download the certificate. And we thank our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Registrar, and also other authorities in the university, including our staff at Faculty of Commerce and Business Management. Our non-teaching staff includes Ratnakar, Srivalli, and Pasha, and all
computer center.
Yes, computer center staff who associated. Yeah, Yashwant Mishra, Yashwant, and systems engineer Vasant Rao. All of them, we thank them for their continuous support and cooperation. Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Kiran madam. Thank you, Pawar sir. Bye bye.